I do a tremendous amount of digging and an equal amount of vetting before I present anything to you here. This is why, since I started doing this thing on their tube 4 years ago, nothing that I ever posted here has ever not been true, disclaimers notwithstanding. I always invoke the following logic. The workability of a postulate is established by the degree to which it explains existing phenomena which is already known, by the degree that it predicts new phenomena which when looked for will be found to exist, and by the degree that it does not require phenomena which do not exist in fact be called into existence for its explanation. I found the following video purely by accident. I'm not going to play the entire video, but I'll leave the link to Debbie's video, which is an absolutely awesome bit of journalism, and I subscribed to her channel immediately after I was able to breathe again.
Because it's an amazing, amazing development that has occurred. Keep in mind, the entire reason the Trump-Russia collusion hoax allegations, the lie got started, the fantasy got started, was because somehow during the 2016 election cycle, somebody had hacked in to the DNC's server, the Democrat National Committee's server, or even be more precise, not necessarily hacked in. Someone had access to the DNC server and had released emails that embarrassed Hillary Clinton, released them to Julian Assange, who then in turn published them on Wikileaks. So, you may remember the name Seth Rich, and Seth Rich was a DNC staffer. He worked for the Democrat National Committee. Huge Bernie Sanders supporter, did not support Hillary. And Seth Rich was murdered on July 10th, 2016. There is a piece of litigation now ongoing. The complaint became public, and I want you to try to follow this. It's so interesting in trying to get at the story. It relates back to the DNC server and relates back to the entire Russia-Trump collusion. Here is the story. There is a businessman named Ed Batowski. He happens to live here in Texas, Ed Batowski. He has filed a defamation lawsuit, a lawsuit claiming he was defamed and harmed by that defamation by statements made by others in which he was accused essentially of falsely reporting on, characterizing, looking into the question of what really happened to Seth Rich and who really hacked into the DNC server. One other little piece I want to make sure you understand. The DNC server, what you'd have to look at to figure out who hacked in, was never examined by the FBI. The only entity that actually had the ability and was given access to look at the DNC server and figure out who had accessed those emails, who had released them to Julian Assange, who then put them out on WikiLeaks, was an organization called CrowdStrike. This lawsuit alleges that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange confirmed to Fox News analyst Ellen Ratner, R-A-T-N-E-R, Ellen Ratner, that the DNC leaked emails were given to WikiLeaks by Seth Rich and his brother Aaron. So Seth Rich, a guy working for the DNC, unhappy perhaps that the DNC is obviously pushing this primary toward Hillary and against his guy, Bernie Sanders. But this allegation is that the WikiLeaks founder himself, Julian Assange, the one who would be in a position to know, told a Fox News person, Ellen Ratner, that the DNC leaked emails were received from Seth Rich and not, therefore, from the Russians. This is Rohrabacher's statement. Julian emphatically stated that the Russians were not involved in the hacking or disclosure of these emails. And I'm well aware of the importance of facts mattering and truth mattering. I'm also very aware of how preciously guarded this secret would be if it turned out that Seth Rich is the one who got the information off the DNC server and gave it to WikiLeaks, gave it to Julian Assange, because the inside job by the DNC, by Seth Rich, would destroy the entire Trump-Russia collusion hoax. You're going to hear hysteria out of the left over the next several days trying to obliterate the credibility of this guy Butowski, who's laid this out in a complaint, who says this is exactly what happened. Ellen Ratner came back. She told me what Assange said. And he did, by the way, communicate with Seth Rich's parents to it. But it is, at the end of the day, irrefutable fact that Butowski has been saying this all along. He finally put it in a lawsuit because he's suing people for defamation, for criticizing him for saying it. And there apparently are records of communications back and forth between Butowski, Seth Rich's parents, and others that must be explained if none of this ever happened. If Assange never told this Ellen Ratner that he got the information from Seth Rich. And frankly, Congressman Dana Rohrabacher making this up? I don't think so.
I always knew Seth Rich was the source. Kim.com said it. A forensic analysis of the file proved it could not have been sent over international internet at the speed that was recorded in the metadata, which leaves only one logical possibility. The email files were copied onto a USB drive by someone who had access to the skiff. And I don't think it is much of a stretch of logic at all, given the strange circumstances surrounding Seth's death, to allege that the frazzled rat had the young man whacked for completely deep-sixing her plot to seize the White House, given that 100 others who had dirt on her or stood in her way met with their untimely demise. Over 100. Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot channel. You can also find us at Net4Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4Truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.